Hey everybody, this is Crazy10. Welcome back to another collection update video. This is going to be collection update number 1 for the Sony PSP. I think the PSP is one of the most overlooked consoles, and definitely one of the most overlooked handhelds. There's a ton of great publishers putting out tons of great games for the PSP. You've got NES America, you've got Atlas, and various other companies doing lots of cool things. Square Enix to some extent too. So there's a ton of good RPGs in the system. I have a fairly good number of them, I think, and there's a lot more on my want list. However, with most of my games being RPGs, they're very time-consuming games, so I can only really offer my initial impressions on these games based on my research. I haven't played the majority of these RPGs because I just have so many, but there's a lot of really cool games here. I figured it would be cool to show you guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started here. First, I've got Final Fantasy, and I have Final Fantasy II right here. They were just separated. I think this one, yeah, this one's still sealed. Started playing this game a little bit, and I was really enjoying it, but I think I got sucked into another game at the time, and I haven't opened this one yet. But really cool that these were re-released and kind of given a little bit of an updated treatment for the PSP. It makes them a lot more accessible for people who don't want to play the NES version of Final Fantasy or import a copy of Final Fantasy II from Japan. So awesome that there's another way to play these games. And again, you know, I'm looking forward to the time that I get to actually sit down and play through them. I'm probably going to say that a lot for a lot of these games, so please excuse me. Next, actually, is a game I played a lot. I played the Flash version of this a lot too, and that's N+. A really challenging platforming game, but I mean, it's very, very responsive controls, a quality art style. It's nothing that's overly shiny or overdone, but it suits the game perfectly. The controls, you know, every mistake you make is your fault. The controls respond appropriately every single time. They respond exactly to what you tell them to do. That's the right kind of challenge for a platformer. So an excellent game. I know they did it for the DS too, which is cool. Another little puzzle game here is Exit. This is more of a strategy game than a platforming game, but it's still quite difficult. There's 100 levels, and I think I beat 96 of them. The last 4 were just really difficult. This is an excellent game. They have this for the DS as well, and I think this is one of the more overlooked games on the handhelds. This is an excellent, excellent game. If you're a fan of puzzle games or strategy games, definitely give this a look. It's dirt cheap, and I really, really think that anyone who's a fan of a puzzle game will really enjoy this. Alright, we've got HalfMinute Hero here. Very interesting concept. You play this game in 30-second spurts, and it's 30 seconds worth of an RPG each time you play, and it all kind of intertwines into an overarching story. So, very interesting concept, pretty well executed, I think, and something that's definitely one on the radar. We've gotta love Xseed games. Next, we've got Metal Gear Acid. I haven't had a chance to play this yet, I'll be honest with you guys, but I'm looking out for Metal Gear Acid 2 as well as Portable Ops and all the other handheld ones. Pretty cool games, from what I can tell. I don't remember much about them, which is kind of sad, but pretty cool game to have, I suppose. Archetype Command. This is like a strategy RPG version of R-Type. It's, you know, you can see the hex grid here, so obviously that lends that to your imagination, but just a very interesting twist on R-Type. Next, we've got Monocamia Student Alliance. This is an RPG with some kind of like crafting and potion building and mechanics and stuff like that, and a small degree of date sim, which NIS, and I believe this is a Gust. Yeah, this is Gust. They're very notorious for their dating sim elements in games. Pretty solid though. I don't know. I think there was a version of this released for the PS2 as well, which will probably be the version I'll play. But I've said this before, I'm trying to get as many NES America games as I can while I still can, so this is one I found for quite cheap. Speaking of cheap games, John Dark. This game is excellent. It's actually very challenging too. I probably put in about 30 hours into this, and I think I'm close to the end. The game was just getting so difficult and so long and drawn out that I had to put it down. Just the battles towards the end took like over an hour each, and you know, it'd be really frustrating when you get close to the end and then one of your attacks will miss, and then you know, the enemy who has a 20% chance of actually hitting the attack just completely one-hit kills you, and then you have to start all over. So quite a challenging game, but a very beautiful game, somewhat motivating storyline. It gets kind of convoluted, but another level 5 game, and I don't think I have disliked anything level 5 has put out. I'm so excited for Ni no Kuni. I can't wait for it to come out this month. Next, I've got Persona. This was a gift from my brother, I believe, for my birthday one year. And very, very cool game. I didn't play this very much. I don't know why. There's a ton of praise out there for the Persona series, and I really ought to get back into this. I wonder, I'm going to do a little bit of research and see how the PSP holds up to the PS1 version. I know that there's probably some additional content here, so I need to check that out and kind of get an idea what that's all about. But a really cool game. I really need to get some time to play that. We've got Jacandia, The Timeless Land, an Axis title. This is a platforming game, which was really cool. I mean, Axis they do a lot of different things, but most of the things that they do aren't really platforming games. They're more strategy based. But this has a really cool, like pseudo 16-bit graphic style with like chibi-like characters. Very cool game, very, very cheap. So I don't know if that means that it's a bad game or not. Yigdur Union, Will Never Fight Alone. This is a very interesting strategy game. It's kind of like a war strategy game. So you have like some troops that you have to outfit, and then you have to make them fight against other troops. And once you say this unit fights this unit, it's all simulated from there. So there's a degree of chance, but there's also a degree of skill too. And it's just a huge game. The battle system is so difficult to wrap your head around, but it's a really, really interesting game for the PSP. So definitely something I need to put more time into and try to figure out if I can master that or not. Probably not, but we'll see. Knights in the Nightmare. I still have this game sealed. I haven't played it yet, obviously. Basically what this is a port from a DS game, and it's a strategy RPG mixed with a little bit of bullet hell shooter elements. So when you're defending, there are like bullets that shoot out, and you are this wisp character on top of the character that you are. It's really strange, and you have to avoid the bullets in order to take the least amount of damage. And very interesting fusion of genres. Atlas does a lot of really cool stuff for the PSP, so I'm really looking forward to playing this. You know, when I have the time to sit down and play some of my PSP, I really don't have enough time to play it, which is very unfortunate. DJ Max Fever. This game was very valuable for a long time, and now it just has dropped off in price. It's a rhythm game. Kind of reminds me of like a little bit of a Beatmania or a Poppin' Music kind of thing, but it's its own thing. Very challenging, and it's a lot more interested in the timing of it rather than, like, you know, with a Rock Band or Guitar Hero, can you hit them? This is like, how well can you hit them? And it's a very challenging game. It uses all kinds of buttons on the PSP, but really awesome game. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. I played a lot of this game. Unfortunately, this is not my original copy. I sold that a long time ago. But I actually really enjoyed this. It wasn't as motivating as some of the other games that I've played in the Final Fantasy universe or otherwise. But it was nice. I mean, the job system worked. There was, you know, the story worked. It was fine. It wasn't anything that blew me away, but it certainly was more than enough to keep my attention for a long time. I don't remember very many specific details about this just because I played this so long ago, but pretty solid. Phantom Brave, the Bermuda Triangle. This is the same game as on the PS2 and on the Wii. I've talked about it on the Wii. It's a strategy RPG with you can move in a radius as opposed to a certain number of blocks away. That's really the main thing. Pretty cool game. I think I played a little bit of it on the Wii, but this one is still sealed. I'm not sure if I want to play this on the PSP as well. I don't know if there's much of a difference, but again, it's an NES game that I got for a really good price, so I went ahead and picked it up. Mercury Meltdown. This is the same Mercury Meltdown that you know and love. There's really not much to say about it. It's just a really cheap puzzle game that I picked up for the PSP. Next is the third birthday. I mentioned this a little bit in my PS1 collection video, but I'm kind of disappointed in the direction that this took. It's really just an action shooting game with like very minimal ties to the original Parasite Eve universe. But as its own game, it's fine, but it really doesn't... I mean, I'm glad that they changed the name to the third birthday and it doesn't say Parasite Eve 3, because that would have been just total slap in the face of what Parasite Eve 1 and 2 were. Gunpei. This gets a lot of praise. I have no idea what to do in this game. It's really confusing. I'm sure that if I gave it another shot and I looked in the manual and actually tried to figure out what was going on, I'd enjoy it, because I like puzzle games, but the time that I played it, I was just completely lost. Gradius Collection. It's a collection of Gradius games, obviously. I like Gradius. It's really nice to have them all in one small, tight package. And I think I played all of them. I didn't beat all of them through, because they do get pretty tough, but solid games, really nice collection for the PSP. Every Extend Extra. This is another interesting puzzle game. Very dynamic and very colorful and over the top. Kind of some bullet hell elements, very minimal. Interesting game. Another cheap puzzle game that's worth looking at if you like puzzle games. Parappa The Rapper. Parappa The Rapper. My copy is still sealed. This was, again, as part of a Christmas gift from my good friend Jeff Goffman. I have Parappa The Rapper 2 on the PS2. Interesting rhythm game. Obviously very Eastern styling and fairly Eastern music selection, but pretty cool as far as I know. I mean, I haven't played it nearly as much as I've played other rhythm games, but really, really generous gift from Jeff, and I'm really happy to have it. Next is Baxter. This is fantastic. Anyone who's a fan of the Jak and Daxter universe will really like this game. You're only playing as Daxter, and the mechanics are completely different from a Jak and Daxter game. But still, it was very, very polished. I had no problems with the camera or anything, especially with this being an early game. That's high praise. Really good use of the PSP. I really enjoyed it. I liked it. It was kind of episodic, so it made it a lot easier than a Jak game to kind of pick up and play. Just a very good use of the hardware. I really, really like this game. Okay, this is the last one here that I have shown already. The rest of it are going to be shown in another pickups video, but I will show them here. Puzzle Quest, Challenge of the Warlords. This is actually considered a puzzle RPG. So very interesting. Kind of think of the way that Super Puzzle Fighter took a puzzle game and then turned it into a tournament fighter hybrid. This is very, very similar, except it's more on the RPG than the puzzle. But it's kind of that idea. So really, really cool. I'm really happy to have this. I got it for, I think I got $8, which is not a bad price. I haven't played it yet because I've only had it for about 3 days, but really, really cool game. I'm interested to give it a try. The rest of these games I have not shown in a pickups video yet. Same deal as the games for my Wii. I need to hold off on posting that video, and I'll explain it more when that video goes up. But these are some games that I've gotten in the past week or so. I have not had a chance to play them. I do not have my PSP with me right now, but I know a little bit about them. Prinny, Can I Really Be the Hero? This is set in the Disgaea universe. I've really heard some pretty good things about this. It's a very hilarious and strange game, but pretty interesting nonetheless. Spectral Souls, Resurrection of the Ethereal Empire. RPG from NES America, kind of a little bit of a darker storyline from what I can tell. This game was like really underpriced at GameStop. It goes for a lot more online, but really cool. I need to look into this a little bit more. I just picked it up because it was really cheap. Next is Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops Plus. Another Metal Gear Solid game I don't know much about, but again, it was quite cheap, so I grabbed it. Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins. Really, really interesting that they came out with the new game in this series. Again, as I said, I really haven't played much of... Actually, I haven't played any of these games I'm showing you right now. But, you know, I like Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts, that whole universe, so pretty cool game to have. I didn't even realize that was out. Valkyria Chronicles 2, top-notch series. I've heard very good things about Valkyria Chronicles 2. I'm really looking forward to getting a chance to play this. I love the first one, so that's awesome. Fat Princess Fistful of Cake. This is, I believe, I probably should show you the game. I believe this is a tower defense sort of game. I could be wrong, though. I know there's another Fat Princess game, or maybe two more. I'm not quite sure, but it was, I saw it, and I was able to get it for a good price, so. Gungnir, I found this for really cheap used at a GameStop. They had just lowered their prices the night before, which is crazy. This is, strategy RPG. And there's something like, I think there's over 50 status ailments in this game. It's some crazy number. Really deep, really numbers-based strategy RPG. Very, very cool. I'm excited to give it a shot. This came out very late in the lifespan of the PSP, so it didn't sell very many copies. I was happy to get a copy of that used. Patapon 3, still looking for the first two. I believe I played the first one, either a demo or briefly I owned the game before I sold my PSP collection initially. An awesome kind of rhythm platforming game, and they only get better as the series went on, so I'm looking forward to getting a chance to play in that. Next is ZHP Unloosen Ranger versus Dark Death Evil Man. This game is just completely insane and off the wall. I'm really happy to have this. This is one of the games that's been commanding a higher price on the PSP recently, and I got this for $20 brand new. Really pleased to have it, something I'm looking forward to. This is also kind of set in the Disgaea universe to some degree. And the last game I have here is Valhalla Knights 2. I recently picked up Valhalla Knights something or other for the Wii, so I'm looking for the first Valhalla Knights on the PSP, and I think I'll have the entire series of games. Again, I'm not quite sure what the series is about. It's something I need to look into. But, a recent pickup, I haven't had a chance to play it yet, so I can't blame myself too much. Normally I do limited editions at the beginning, but I completely forgot about these. They were sitting somewhere else. I want to show you guys these really quick before my battery runs out of my camera. I have Ys 1 and 2 Chronicles. Really, really happy to have that. I've got Ys Oath and Felghana. I'm only missing Ys 7. I don't have that one yet. Trails in the Sky, Legend of Heroes, Trails on the Sky. And I also have the European version of Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together. It's the PSP is region free, so I can play this on my PSP. But Amazon was doing some crazy clearance on this. I had to grab it while I could. So those are my limited editions. I don't have... there's several of them that I'm still missing, but I'm working on getting them. And that is my PSP collection, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I have one more to shoot, which would be kind of a surprise. And it's going to be a really long one, so I'm going to hold off on uploading that for a little while. But with that being said, before my camera battery dies, I am going to go ahead and end the video, and I'll get ready to shoot that last one. So thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you guys in a few days with a new video.